Bu Desi, would you like to try? Let's start from ladies. Yeah, Bu Desi.
Well, thank you, sir. And I just remember about critical thinking in reading and writing because
Mhm.
that's like the first ones of the topics that we discuss.
Right.
That the yes, because the in I remember that when we read something and we apply the techniques of being critical in reading, it means that we have to question all the
Right.
time about what we receive because
Mhm.
reading as we know it, it's a receptive skill, right? Like we're
Right.
receiving information, so we are being critical in there. While
Mhm.
critical writing, it's like when we're reading it, it's like we're asking about the credibility of the sources of the information that we read. About the critical thinking in writing, it's like when we trying to formulate our arguments, and then we have to uh, base on we have to write our writing always depend on like credible sources, and also like arguments in with the sorry, evidence. That's what I meant. Yeah. So that's about critical and thinking and writing. About the critical thesis, I think it's like when we kind of like mixing together those elements, the critical reading and critical writing, because as we know that when we are writing our thesis, it means that we also have to gather sources. So it means that when we read through the doing the literature review, for example, we have to always ask the credibility of the sources uh, that we take in our and then we put in our thesis, because we have to provide them as our own arguments later on. That's in my opinion, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mm. Okay, so how would this theory of critical reading and writing that you have already, understood in depth, inform your practice of academic papers, for example?
Sorry, can you
All right,
rephrase
so
that? I'm sorry.
how would this theory guide you in writing a critical paper or critical thesis? For example, when you are writing a piece of paper, to make it
Mm.
critical, what are you going to pay attention during the process of writing, for example?
I
That is
think,
taken
yeah,
from this theory of critical reading and writing.
I think it will answer the fourth question, in my opinion, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like one of the challenges, because when we're trying to write our thesis or academic paper, it means that we have to be vigilant in doing,
Mm.
like, let's say literature review, like collecting resources that we want to put in our academic paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. So in the selections of the readings, in the selections of references.
References, yes, yes, yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay. So that's one example of how this theory of critical reading and writing inform the practice of writing. Okay. That's very good, Budesi. Thank you very much. A very good
Thank you, sir.
start. Can I continue with others?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen. So, gentlemen, please. And one of you would like to say something about critical reading and writing, and how will this knowledge about critical reading and writing inform your practice of writing a research paper, for example? Anyone? Pak Ruli? Ya, Pak.
Okay,
Yeah.
clear my voice, sir?
Yes, very clear.
Okay. I'm sorry because Uh, okay, I'm sorry because I just been in the class. Okay, what is critical thinking? And then I think, in my opinion, critical thinking is the ability to evaluate and analysis in the fact and information that are available from the decide something is right as something is wrong about our, and then it is depend on for us how to research to critical. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so my question to you is that how this knowledge about critical reading and writing inform your practice of writing? For example, when you write a research paper, okay, and then to write it critically using this knowledge about critical reading and writing, what are you going to do?
Sorry, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Because I'm so confused about why why I cannot to join to your class. It's difficult for me for the this afternoon. I'm so sorry. I'm just
Oh,
for your class, sir. I'm so sorry. My my
yeah, my
soul is not
apology.
here.
Yeah, it's not your fault. It's my fault. My
My soul is
apology.
my soul is not here, sir. I'm so sorry. I'm so confused.
All right, so I can understand. So, all right, no problem then. Paroli, thank you so much. All right. I don't know with Bu Emil, Pa Amiruddin, and others. Would you like to get back to those ideas about critical reading and writing? But the point is that how would this knowledge inform your practice of writing a research paper? Okay. Yeah, Pak Ibnu, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Uh, about critical thinking, we need to remember that it is a way, yeah, we think, we get the information not only for granted, but we try to analyze, we try to evaluate, we try to synthesis the information, whether the information is correct, whether the information is fact or fake, yeah, that's very important. And then in terms of writing in research paper, for example, yeah, of course, it is very important to have a critical writing. The way to have a critical writing in a research paper is by giving appropriate reference in the to support our, to support our argument. So it can be categorized as a critical ways, yeah, to defend our argument, because when there is or there are enough supporting argument taken from this one, what's that, qualified sources, for example, or some theories, for example, like that. So we can conclude that, yeah, it is critical enough, in my opinion, like that. So in the reading process also the same, sir. Thank you.
All right. That's very good. Thank you, Pak Ibnu. Thank you so much. Right. What about the next? Pak Bambang, are you going to say something?
Thank you, Pak Udi. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Morning, Pak.
Okay, I start with what is critical reading and writing, Pak. Just what you write is what you read, and when you write critically, so means you have a critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And how would this critical thinking help you? Critical thinking, reading, and writing help you to writing a thesis. So when you have a uh, you have a critical writing, critical thinking, and critical reading, you not only get from the information from what you read, but you know the behind of the information what you read, and you will have a limitation uh, about what is the problem or the information you have, because when uh, you have more critical thinking, so what is without limitation, you will not focus with your thesis writing. So and then what is the potential what
Challenges. Mm-hmm.
the challenges, the potential challenges in
Mm-hmm.
applying this story and practice? Yeah, the challenges, I think, what is maybe with you have a critical thinking, critical writing, and critical reading. So what's you will have what is like what what is you will have like as I said, let is you have a limitation that of
Mm-hmm.
the border what information can make you what is help you to write your thesis, and you will what is help you to focus with your thesis,
Mm-hmm.
Paudi. And then what is critical thesis and how it's like. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
critical thesis, I think the thesis that you write is what is not only uh, what is like copied from others thesis, or maybe not only what is the repetition of the other thesis, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe you will make something news or something new in what is in knowledge or in application theory or something,
Mm-hmm.
because you have a critical thinking and critical writing and critical writing. I think that's all from me, Paudi.
Are you happy? Because you have a lot of ideas. Sometimes when it's not expressed, you feel like I want to say something. Now you have already expressed those, so I hope you are happy. Perfect. Thank you, Bawang. Now, Bu Eni, please. Thank you so much, Bawang. Bu Eni.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Udi.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to share my view about the critical thinking. So the first one is, I think that is critical thinking. It is focused on how we analyze and evaluate about the text or a situation, and then the critical and then the critical reading focuses on how we analyzing and evaluate the context, the text, while the critical thinking involves expressing and supporting one's idea and arguments using evidence and reasoning. And then critical thinking, it is important to apply in our research paper because uh, because by integrating critical reading and writing in our research paper, the results of our paper is like to be more well resonate well supported or effectively, and also communicated by conducted research paper. So so yeah, critical thinking it's very important. So we can assess the resources that we got that relevance to our research paper. Yeah, and then yeah, that's it, sir. I think that's it that I can share about the critical thinking and critical thinking, critical reading, and critical writing. Thank you so much, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Okay, right. That's very good. So my expectation again, up to this level, I mean, up to this meeting, everyone has already gained an understanding of what critical thinking is, what critical reading is, what critical writing is, and principles underlie those ideas. All right. So you are now expected to be able to apply this knowledge into your writing practice. Okay. So that's the reason why I'm giving you these sessions of review. Anyone would like to say something again about these basic ideas? If not, I'll display you one example, not example of, but one short paragraph. And then after that, I will ask you and your impressions after reading this paragraph. I want you to evaluate, use your knowledge about critical writing, use your knowledge about critical thinking, and they say something about this very short paragraph. Okay, hang on. Okay, let's focus on the very first paragraph, starting from since the notions of, and stop here, publishers, full stop. So what impression after reading this paragraph? Okay, use your knowledge about critical thinking, use your understanding about critical writing. All right, and after that, please share your impressions after reading this first paragraph. So, what do you think about that paragraph? Now, use your knowledge about critical writing or critical thinking and evaluate that. What are you going to say about the paragraph? Is it an example of critical text or critical writing? Or you would say it's not critical at all. It's not a good piece of academic paper because blah, blah, blah. So, or you will say, oh, I'm dizzy. It's just too hard to understand what it is all about. Just tell me. So now you are an expert of critical reading and writing, right? Because you have finished all the discussions about critical reading and writing. This module has finished, right? So you have now a lens of evaluating or a lens to evaluate a text, you can say now that this piece of text is a good example of critical writing because, and you can now also say, well, this is not a good critical writing at all because, right? So use this knowledge of critical writing that you have already learned from this module. So what is your impressions after reading this paragraph? Is it because for example, is it because the choice of vocabulary is all very difficult or very technical? Then you will say it is an example of a critical piece of text, or because something else? So anyone would like to comment on it? Pak Taufik? Ayo. So,
I cannot think.
what can you say about this text?
I don't know. I feel read it. So.
Oh, you still read it. All right. Okay. We'll move to Pak Ibnu. Pak Ibnu, so what do you get from the paragraph, or what can you conclude about this paragraph from the perspective of critical writing?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. For me, this paragraph already provides good supporting system for calling as a critical, because we know there are some reference that some citation that provided by the writers. In the second line, we know Priva Dal Verton Platon 2002 and so on and so on. The third line, fourth line, and sixth and seventh line. We got the citation to support the argument provided by the writer. I think it is critical enough. And during 110, I give 9 for this score, sir. Thank you so much.
Right. Okay. It's very good. So this is an example of a critical piece of paragraph. By Ibnu.
Sorry, sir. It is an example of what? Sorry.
So you are saying that this is an example of a critical writing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Good. I need another reason to say that this paragraph is a simple example of a critical writing. So the first reason is on the citation. Yes, any piece of academic writing, any critical, academic writing would always employ citations. The more cited references you put in your writing, the better the paper would be considered. All right. So one indicator of a piece of critical text is the existence of citation. All right. Anything else can you see from this paragraph that makes it a critical text? What about the progression from sentence 1 to sentence 2?
Is it still for me or for the other, sir? Question is purpose is for me?
For everyone.
For everyone. For everyone. Okay.
Yeah, but if you want to answer, I'm happy.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Usually in the introduction for research manuscripts, started by putting the hook, or we can call as the general information first. For sentence, I think it is a very general. As in the published or Paris become a prevalent doctrine among scholars, and then followed by some details with the supporting detail supported by some citation, as I said before. I think the connection between the first sentence as the what's that? introduction.
Alright.
Sorry, what's that? A topic sentence, yeah,
Mhm,
and then followed
mhm.
by details. It is clear enough that this is a types of academic writing. Thank you, sir.
Okay, that's very good. Anyone else would like to comment? What about the words used there? Are there words that indicate that this topic is a very specific topic in the area of English language teaching, for example? Oh yeah, Bu Desi, please.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I think based on the choices of vocabularies here, we can say that it's a type of critical, academic paper. Uh,
Mhm.
big, we learn from the other subject, the language teaching method, that there are like three tiers of words.
Mhm.
So vocabularies, sorry, three tiers of
Yeah.
vocabularies, and this right here is, in my opinion, it belongs to the tier 2 of the vocabulary. So yes, in my opinion, we can say that this is a type of academic paragraph or critical paragraph. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. One of the indicators of critical writing is clarity. Is this paragraph clear enough in terms of ideas expression? What about the coherence? Is there a very good coherence between first, second sentence to the third sentence, the flow? If you notice this, do you think all is clear with the ideas that is said by the writer in that paragraph?
Yes, I think so. However, it's just because I don't see the title, and then also I don't also know the context here, the published or
Mm-hmm.
Paris. It's kind of like,
Right.
I'm like, what is published? What is Paris? So that's why I
But
don't really,
literally speaking, you know the word publish and perish, right?
literally speaking.
Yeah. You know the word publish and the word perish, right?
Yes, yes, but the
Okay.
notion of publish and or Paris, like it's why is it like a prevalent doctrine among scholars? Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so
All right.
that's what I don't get yet. And
All
also
right.
like the use of promotional language. What is the promotional language? So like there are
Yes,
so
you need.
many words here that I still don't get. Sorry,
Right.
so, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's very
Thank
good.
you.
Because you only read the very first paragraph, right? It doesn't tell you the whole things, right? That's why you
Yes.
find it confusing. Okay. One of the indicators of a critical paper or critical paragraph is the high degree of clarity, remember? Okay. So when everything is there and then your readers or yourself as the writer can understand what you mean, so it is also called as a critical writing. And the coherence, remember, anytime you write, please always see between one sentence with another sentence. Sentence one to sentence two, sentence two to sentence three. Are there connections between those sentences? If not, then it's not critical at all, because one of the indicators of critical writing is the coherence, cohesiveness. Those are part of criteria in critical writing. Okay. That's very good. This is just an example of how I invite you as an expert now in critical writing. That's why I ask you to evaluate, a paragraph and check if it is an example of critical writing. All right. Okay, Pak Bambang, please.
Okay, thank you, Pak Udi. I see what is this sample paragraph is a good paragraph of critical writing,
Mm-hmm.
because in the first paragraph you can see in the last sentence there's the writer arguments,
Mm-hmm.
just how to promote, but before the writer state their his or her arguments. Like they start with the what is the maybe the data or the what is the resource that bring to their argument, the writer argument, and then you know that the argument the strong argument is if the argument attached or support by data and good resource, I think. So yeah, and the flow of this sentence in this paragraph is very smooth and it's, as you said, that the coherence between paragraph between what is sentence in paragraph is really really good, I think, because what is the writer not only what is like take from one side, but what is take for another side. I think that's all from me, Audi.
All right. Okay, it's very good. If you can command this, means that you have already known that you have knowledge. All right, and that's why you use that knowledge in order to evaluate this. Now, there is one interesting quote here that I think still needs something to be added, which is publish and perish. So in order to make this paragraph perfect, from my perspective, okay, from my understanding, after a direct quotation, there is always a cited work here. For example, because this is a direct quotation, it should be, in a bracket. For example, Fairclough, 1995, page something. So this would be perfect if the writer put, the citation here with the page, because it is a direct quotation. And he did it in this second paragraph, a short collection. If you see this one, direct quotation, and then he puts at the end like Elsevier 2014, but still it would be even better to put the page. All right, but overall, this is published in a high ranking journals, which means that this is a very critical piece of research papers. Okay, one thing that you can learn from this paragraph is that any piece of writing, any piece of critical writing would be indicated by the use of, look, this one, okay, citation. The more citations, the better, because you will be considered as, a reader, a writer that reads a lot of, references, related references. If you are curious enough with the title, this is a very, very applied linguistic thing, So evaluative language and interactive discourse in journal article highlights. So this is an example of genre analysis or discourse analysis. We use this one, textual analysis. So this is an example of discourse analysis. Okay, so discourse analysis again is a big, big umbrella of any research that concerns text analysis. So we can say our discourse analysis is a text analysis because we are doing a text analysis. Sometimes it also concerns content analysis. It depends on what we focus on, but the umbrella is called discourse analysis. And this is an example of research that concerns text analysis. So if you are, for example, doing an analysis of research papers, you can focus, for example, on the citation. So what kinds of citations are employed by experienced writers? What kind of citations are employed by junior writers? You can compare, for example, research articles written by junior writers and then research articles written by experienced writers. And then you can compare the differences or similarities from the perspective of critical thinking or critical writing. So that can be your thesis. So a thesis in our magister program It's not always about classroom. As I said before, we can do text analysis, we can do textbooks analysis. We can also do this kind of research. We do an analysis of research papers. Focus on, for example, the use of citation, focus on, for example, the criticality elements of these research papers. There are a lot of ideas actually in our field. And one of the examples is doing this text analysis. So this is an analysis of evaluative language and interactive discourse. So interactive discourse is like the use of certain words to interact between the writers and the readers. Okay, so for example, we can say you, we can put you in our research paper to indicate that there is an interpersonal interaction between the readers and the writers, or to indicate that a research paper is, actually about interaction between the writer and the reader. So there is a certain word that is used to indicate that interpersonal elements of a research paper. It might be complicated, but this is just to show you that there is this kind of research in our field. Yeah, so it's not only about classroom exit research. It's not only about, for example, doing an experiment in the classroom. We can do this kind of study. You can just download research papers and do an analysis. For example, you do an analysis on critical writing elements in your in the papers that you analyze. Okay, so this is just an example. Any ideas, concern, comments? If no, I'll show you one more. After that, everyone can go to bed. Mbak Puput, so sorry. Is Mbak Puput here? Somebody from MPBI. Right. Where is it? All right. Is there anything you would like to say? It doesn't.
Okay, sure.
Yes, Pak Ibnu.
No. 1959.
Who? Oh, Pak Bambang. Yes, please.
Maybe because we know Pak Udi next week our end of year semester exam, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully in this meeting, maybe you can share what kind of question we will have. or what is the outline of what kind of exam?
So I think that would be a combinations of text analysis and question about what critical reading is, critical writing, but this would be more applied. More applied mean we will examine your understanding of critical reading and writing by giving you, for example, a text. Okay, you analyze the text and there are questions to answer as well. But the idea is that all about critical reading and writing. But normally, most of the question will be in the form of text and then you analyze them. All right, so this will be so applied. It's not like, what is critical thinking? What is critical reading? No, it will be applied. So you use that knowledge to analyze a text, for example. So that's just a picture of how the final exam will be like. So the clue is that it is applied, means that you will just use your knowledge on critical reading, critical thinking, critical writing in real life.
Maybe is it like picture analysis could be like that? For example.
Well, kind of. It's easy, really. And to my experience, when I'm like checking your seniors work, your seniors yeah results of ujian akhir, most of them got very high score because they know that the questions is so simple, the analysis is so simple because they understand what critical reading and writing is. All right. So the idea is that it is applied. You just use your knowledge about critical reading and writing and put it there, use it there. Okay.
Thank you, Pak Budi.
Sure. I'll tell you again later. Bit by bit during this meeting, yeah. Right, Pak Ibnu, anything you would like to say? Are you raising your hand? Okay. If no, it's 7 by
Yes,
10.
sir.
Oh yes.
Yes. I would like to ask whether it is load or not, sir. It is about having the secondary research. Sir. It is a lot in this faculty to have. Uh, yep.
Sorry. What do you mean by secondary research here?
Yes, sir.
So what do you mean by secondary research
Can you hear my
here?
voice?
Yes. So what
Sure.
is secondary? Hello.
Guys, first,
Yeah. So what is secondary research
test, check.
that you mean?
I mean, analyzing paper, sir. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Research connected to analyze the release paper, sir. The release paper. So
Yes.
there are some papers that, as you said before, yeah. Is it okay
Yes.
to have it in this faculty, this department? Is it
Yes.
okay? How many
Yes.
articles yet? Minimum, sir, for the minimum article that we do analyze.
Well, there is no exact numbers, but 10, 12 would be okay because I don't know, it depends on elements that you analyze. All right, but normally 5 to 10 would be really okay for a thesis. Okay. So let me show you one thing. Maybe this is also another idea for you. This is my thesis. Right. So yeah. Look, the type I did my. So if you do, a text analysis, an essay analysis, that's so me actually. My thesis is, analyzing essays written by my students. So my focus was, evaluating or researching my students' critical thinking. So how do they realize their critical thinkings in their argumentative text? All right. So research project in magister or in master's level could also do or concentrate on a text analysis. All right, I did this. So if you are interested in doing text analysis, well, I've done this, means that it is really possible. And I'll be very happy to help if you do like text analysis for your research paper. Okay. So anything about critical thinking analysis, I think I have that experience, so I can share, of course, with you. So for example, in the future, for your thesis, you're interested in exploiting how the criticality expressed by writers in research papers. I think that is so good. So you can do that. Okay. So this is just an example of a text analysis. So my point actually in showing this is about the second chapter. Hang on. This one. Right. So what I'm going to say by displaying this is actually writing critically should be there in your thesis. So your thesis should reflect your critical thinking, because a thesis itself, as I said before, and as we already understand previously, is an example of a critical thesis. So if you see this one, the citation is thick. There are so many citations in this thesis. And this is just to indicate that citation is part of a critical thesis. Okay. And the second point that I want to tell you through this paragraph is that when, for example, you write a literature review, many of your seniors only write, for example, the definition of, and then another definition of, okay, according to the title, because there are, for example, 2 keywords in the title, and then you guys write down what the definition is for each variable. It's not what we expect actually. What we expect in the thesis level or in the master's level is the criticality. And this is an example. To me, why this paragraph is called a critical paragraph, because I make an argument. Okay, if you read this, for example, okay, you will see that I argue on something. Sorry. Please have some time to read the first paragraph, or sorry, this paragraph. What did I do there? What did I say there? And why do you think it is considered as a critical paragraph or not a critical paragraph? Feel free if you want to say that. So I give you like, well, 1-2 minutes to read, and then what did I do that indicate that this paragraph is another example of critical paragraph. Yes, Pak Bambang, please.
In this paragraph, your argument is in the middle, the interdependent of the two theories. City and SFL is clear because both of them constant language in use. I think that's your argument.
Right.
About it.
Right. That's it. Okay. So there is always an expectation you show your voice. So voice is actually your critical thinking. We cannot simply display theories like write A, B, C, D, but without any voice. So what we mean by voice is that an argument. So we build an argument. For example, because I combine 2 theories, so then I need to make reasons why I combine those. Okay, these 2 theories are 2 big theories, but then I combine this. Because I combine this, then I need to make reason. I need to develop an argument to indicate that it is okay to combine these 2 theories. So starting from the very first paragraph, I built the position. So positioning, voice are other examples of what critical thinking is. So a critical piece of text will be indicated by the existence of your voice. Your voice is actually your analysis. Your voice is actually your, your argument. So for example, this word, the interdependence of the 2 theories, critical thinking and SFL, is clear because both of them concern language in use. In this case, the theory of critical thinking to some extent shares with SFL analysis in that it starts with the organization, the author purpose, then to the elements, blah, 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 and then put the citation. Because my understanding about this combination is also supported by experts. So my voice is then becoming stronger. So that's the way how a critical text is written. So there is always an argument or voice to indicate your position, the positionality. Okay, so this is just an example of how important it is to put citation and how important it is to build your argument since the beginning of your paragraph, including in the literature review. All right. Any question before we move on to the next sessions? Yes, Pak Bambang, please.
Pak Odi, question Pak Odi.
Mhm.
When we do text analysis or book analysis in the data analysis, so what kind of theory or what is item that we use for analysis? Is it like we grouping them like in thematic, chronological, or something?
Yeah. First about the theory, textbook can be seen from multiple theories. It depends on what are you going to analyze. Okay. From theory first. So, for example, as I said before, I did an analysis on English textbooks, but from the perspective of gender. So all the theories are related to gender, and then I apply this knowledge of gender into my analysis of the research paper, of the English textbooks. Okay, so that's the theory, and my focus is understanding the gender realization in English textbook. Now, what about the methodology? Because it is qualitative, so this, qualitative, discourse analysis is so qualitative, content analysis is so qualitative. And then the process of data analysis can follow, as you said, Miles and Huberman, yeah, categorization, selections of data, and so on. Okay, so the process of data analysis can follow the qualitative data analysis in general, because text analysis is actually another part of qualitative. So the big umbrella, quantitative and qualitative, right? And then below qualitative, we have discourse analysis. That's another umbrella for any text analysis. And below this, we have content analysis, genre analysis. We have, what else? Critical discourse analysis, and so on. And we are here under qualitative, which means that it is possible for you to apply the data analysis in qualitative research in general, like applying Miles and Huberman. Or you can specify into, for example, like what I did for my master's. I use systemic functional linguistics, so my analysis really depends on this theory. So I'm not using Miles and Huberman, I'm using this theory of systemic functional linguistics. So my analysis is based on this theory. Okay, so for example, I analyze the criticality expression through the analysis of modality use. Modality use, for example, could, would, should, and what does that mean? Why I use would, not will. I would like to say something, not I want to say something. So there is something there. And then I see from SFL perspective. So I'm not using Miles and Huberman, but again, it depends. All right, so it's possible.
Thank you,
Next
Pak Odi.
time, yeah, next time, I know you still find it so confusing. Next time when you have the data, you will understand what kinds of analysis you need to do and what kind of tools you are going to use. But at least this evening time, you know that your research will be under qualitative research, and there is a possibility for the theory of data analysis in qualitative to be applied in your research. Your supervisor will tell you, okay, like some options to do the analysis. All right. That's very good. Okay, 7:30. Bapak Ibu, would you like to have like a quick break? Yes. Okay. So let's do not let's do. Let's have a quick break. But you know, there is a video in the LMS about making an outline. So while doing something else, please, you know, listen to that, enjoy that, and after this, we'll have a discussion on research proposal writing. Okay.